Good evening. My name's Brett Stalkup. Welcome to Choices Podcast. You can find us at choicespodcastofficial.com. We ask you to go there and subscribe to our website. We're going to start offering a newsletter, doing some really cool blogging. We're going to keep growing. The demand is out there, and we're going to keep meeting the demand. You can also find us on Facebook on Choices Podcast. If you have a question during our podcast, you can write your question in the comments section. But we're looking forward to visiting with you guys tonight about being a better man. Yes, we're all stepping up. We're all going to step
we all
up.
do need to step it up, Brett.
Hey, Clint Black, that was my favorite country western song about being a better man.
Of course.
That's right. Meet my co-host and friend, Carcass John. Carcass.
Yes, sir.
Peace, love, and joy.
Man, I'm all about it. I'm still basking in the the warm glow of having 9 days of disconnected bliss, out on a ship, away from TV and away from internet and away from work and away from all things, and being around good people and just hanging out. It was really awesome. And but anyway, here we are, back to the grind, and that's all right, because that's what we do.
Grinding on, brother.
Yep.
Do you have a lyrics to a song?
I surely do, and especially in lieu of what we're talking about tonight. This thing popped. It popped out of the mouths of 3 of the 4 people in my house. So I gotta hand it to them, to the family, because they often help me out. So this is "Carry On, Wayward Son" by Kansas. And this actually has a lot of history behind it, because Kansas was kind of to a point where the record label, which was Don Kirshner, who was a very famous producer, promoter, had his own record company. He said, "Hey, look, fellas, I've invested nearly $3 million in you guys, and you've got to have a hit song." And this was the result. And it was just sort of a it was one that was not going to make it on the album, which is called Leftoverture, but I thought it was very appropriate for tonight. And so I'll just and I don't normally read all the lyrics to the songs, but I think I might just read all of them, because they're all really good.
Read on.
And so it says, "Once I rose above the noise and confusion, just to get a glimpse beyond this illusion. I was soaring ever higher, but I flew too high. Through my eyes, though my eyes could see, I was still a blind man. Though my mind could think, I was still a madman. I hear voices when I'm dreaming. I can hear them say, 'Carry on, wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more.'" Then it goes on a stormy sea of moving emotion. Tossed about, I'm like a ship on the ocean. I set a course for winds of fortune, but I hear the voices say, 'Carry on, wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more.' Carry on, you will always remember, carry on. Nothing equals the splendor. Now your life's no longer empty. Surely heaven waits for you." And then it goes back to the chorus, "Carry on, wayward son." And I just thought, you know what? Sometimes I think we get in our own way, and especially if we're trying to improve and be better as a man, as a person, as a human being, as a worker, co-worker, as a patron at a church. And I think we need to just carry on. We need to, as we've talked about many times, we need to persevere, whether it be at a slow pace or at fast pace. Sometimes we need to pick it up. But I don't know. I'm ready to dive into this subject, because I'm always looking for the edge. And as we talked about prior to the show, it just takes little adjustments, kind of like the hand grip thing on the bench press. So
we're going to make some movement tonight, dog.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. Number one rule of being a better man is you got to be part of the DBAP club. Can you do that, Carcass?
The D-back?
DBAP.
D-BAP.
DBAP.
Okay. I'm writing.
I should make a bumper sticker that says DBAP.
Okay. I'm writing.
Don't be a problem.
Wow.
DBAP.
Okay.
tell all my young kids that I mentor, I use a different word every now and then on DBAP, but that's fine. DBAP, problem works just fine. Don't be a problem. Okay. Listen, I know we all stay busy. We all have our own stuff going on. I know we like to play the drums. I know we like to do this, play tennis. But when your daughter comes in the airport flying in at 11 o'clock at night, you don't tell her to take an Uber. You,
Oh no, no, sir.
you DBAP. You hear me?
Yep.
You don't be a problem. You shut up and you pick your daughter up. If your wife asks you to take the trash out or you just take it out, you don't DBAP. Don't be a problem, man.
I
It's
like it.
it works. It works in everything. It's like, hey, can you unload the dishwasher? Yeah, I don't say a word. I just unload it now. And it's DBAP.
I always get curious at what on the hills that people wish to die in a relationship, and being asked to do something like that is so petty that why not just do it?
Yeah.
It doesn't take
Don't
that
be a
much.
problem, dude. Do it.
In
If
fact,
my daughters ask me for something, I do it.
and
You know?
then what shocks the world, Brett, is when you do it without being asked the next time.
Yeah. And I try to get it where I'm not asked. You know what else? You know what else is good?
What's that?
When your wife or somebody's telling you that what they got something going on today, like at 2 o'clock, it's important to them, and you call at 2:45 and you ask how it went, dude. That's taking yourself out. It goes back to How to Win Friends and Influence People,
You
the
make it
book
about
by Dale
them.
Carnegie. You make it's about them. You got to get out of yourself long enough to think about other people. Like when someone's talking to you, I'm telling you, Carcass, it works. When somebody's talking to you, don't think about yourself or what you're going to say, right? Or how you're going to better up them or tell a story that's better than theirs. I hate that when someone does that when you're telling a good story and then they got to one up you, right?
Oh yeah, I don't like that either.
You know what I mean? Being a better man is sitting there and listening to somebody. And I had lunch today with Judge Kincaid. He's my mentor, and I love him. Prayers go out to Judge Kincaid, please, please, everybody, pray for Judge Kincaid. Um, he's fighting the ultimate battle, and but hey, Brett, how's Sanka?
Answering service.
Oh, hey, Brett, how's Alex? Hey, Brett, how's Dylan? Not one thing about him.
Hmm.
He's wanting to know about my family, how we're doing, what's going on. How's your job? Did you re up on your lease? What's your plan? What's your exit strategy? He really genuinely cares about me. That's being a good man. You know what I mean? That's being a caring friend.
Well, you know me, I like to write stuff down. So when we kind of preemptively talked about this, I actually wrote some stuff down because I didn't want to forget. And what you're saying is, and what you're talking about right now is actually on my list. It's not number one, but it's number two, and
What is it?
it's be courteous, be kind, and be genuine. I think that's what you're talking about. You're talking about looking someone in the eye and listening, and that idea of not the one-upsmanship. I
Yeah.
used to see that all the time in sports.
It's like when someone's telling you something, look through them and listen to them. You don't have to say anything, but really, really listen to them.
I think sometimes the ultimate form of communication is not saying anything at all.
Yeah, me too.
And I think that they know that you're hearing them, if you're not saying anything.
And sometimes it's saying something as simple as "You got this."
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, it's not talking to talk and talking to one up or talking to. I hate it when people are like that.
My dad used
And the older I get, the more it bothers me.
Yeah, my dad used to say, "I'm not standing here talking to hear my brain rattle." And I would and you know, he had something that he needed to convey to us as children, and I know that he wasn't up there just for his own ego. He was trying
Mhm.
to actually help us. He was trying to help us be better. Says, "I'm not standing here talking to just hear my brain rattle."
That's
So that always stuck in my head.
back in the day when I had my seminar, my motivational seminar is called Discovery, and they're still going. I think it's really cool. But and I stay in touch with Phil, and he had pathways, and you did a part in the seminar, and a lot of these guys are still listening to us, and I think it's cool. We got a contract, Carcass. You got a contract, and it went like, "What do you want?" And there'd be four people, you'd be in the middle of it. You tell them, "Well, I want to be free." Well, what's it mean for you to be free? Well, it means I got to let some of this stuff I got going on go. What do you got to let go? The anger I have. I was very angry at my father. I was so angry I popped the blood vessels in my eyeballs. But it was like you went through guilt, anger, fear. What are you mad? What are you guilty about? What are you mad at? Or what are you afraid of? And when you removed all those barriers, right? You removed all those barriers, it would end with, "So what do you want?" And Phil's the best at this. What do you want? And I wanted joy. I wanted love. I wanted forgiveness. If you put all that in one ball and tattooed your heart from this day forward, what kind of man would you be? And I said, "I'm a kind, loving man." That was in 1991.
Mhm.
And it has stuck with me since then. I am a kind, loving man. And the word kind means a lot to me. Kind means that when people come in my office and they need help, that I listen to them. I don't just shuck them off. I really listen to them. You know what I mean? And loving means I'm just different. I love my family. My wife is Greek, and they're all about family. They taught me more about family than anybody in my life. They get it. The Greeks get family. They get it. Sunday night dinners, ain't gonna happen if a Greek's living in your house.
Yeah.
You know,
You
it's
better be
gonna
ready for
happen.
that.
So, Carcass,
Yes, sir.
let's do that exercise with you.
Oh boy.
So, what are you guilty about? You got any guilt left on anything? I've talked to you about this before.
I
You
I, I don't want to no. You know what? I don't, Brett. I don't waste time. I don't waste time on feeling sometimes the guilty feeling. Yes, are there things that I can do better or I can improve on? Sure, but I don't feel guilty about my life in general. I have no regrets. I told this to Steph the other day, and we've had long periods of just quiet time, opportunity. You know, when you're sitting out in the middle of the ocean and you're not connected to anything but each other, you have the chance to just be honest and open and free. And I said, you know, I really have no regrets. I could I have done things differently? Sure, but what got me to this point right here? And all those decisions, good, bad, or indifferent, got me to this point right here. And I couldn't be happier about it.
all right? Do you have any anger any there at anyone?
I'm dealing with a little bit of hostility about my current. And I don't know if it's so much anger as extreme concern that about my ability to perform my job in a professional
That's not about your job. Screw your job.
Okay.
I'm talking about you as a person. Do you have any
No.
anger?
Well, then no, I don't.
Okay. Do you
I
have
don't.
any? Do you have any fear?
Not really. I left all that stuff. Man, I'll tell you right now, Brett. When my son passed away, it'll be 14 years ago in December. When my son passed away, I left all that stuff on the doorstep and walked away from it.
That's
And
good, baby.
and I just said, you know what? I can. This is the worst thing that could happen. This is one of the worst things that could ever happen to a parent. And yet, I'm gonna take it. I saw so many positive things that I could take from the experience. Not that I would ever wish it on anybody. I wouldn't wish it on myself again. But I saw good things happening because of this terrible, terrible tragedy. And I use that as motivation to not only improve, but when somebody else is suffering, even the same issue that I had with losing a child, I'm there for them, and I know I can have not just sympathy for somebody, I can have empathy because I've been through it myself. And so once again, would I rather have my son here? You better believe it. I wish I could have seen his music career take off like it was already headed in the right direction. He had turned his life around from addiction. And the bottom line is that's not the way the cards were dealt. That's not what happened. But I have no I don't feel regret. I have no guilt about myself as a parent or as a father. And honestly,
Okay.
I don't have any fear.
Good. So, is nothing holding you back from being a better man?
I think that
Look up. Quit writing. Look up at me.
I think that we can always
I know.
make
But I
adjustments.
just want to know from this point forward, what do you want in your life?
I want to continue to be happy.
Okay. What else you want?
I want to have enough finances to travel with my beautiful wife.
That's good. What else you want?
And I want to be a good example to those around me, especially those that live here in my home.
We're to put all that one ball and tattoo your heart for this day forward. What kind of man you want to be? Give me 3 or 4 words. Say it. I am a what?
I am a happy, benevolent, kind person.
Man. I'm a
Man.
happy, benevolent, kind man. Got it?
Yes, sir.
You
Can I
believe
write
him,
it?
Reverend? Reverend,
Yes, sir.
do you believe him?
I do.
I do too. I like the word benevolent for him. I'm a happy, kind,
Yep.
benevolent man.
I like it a lot.
And you know why I can
I-
say that? Because of my number one answer of how anyone can be a better man. Do you want to know what that is? You know what the first thing I wrote down?
What?
I'm gonna take something you said. Don't take the cheese.
Don't eat the cheese.
Don't eat the
Yeah,
cheese.
don't eat the cheese, man. I got to look. Hey, Reverend, don't I have a little rat on my computer at work?
Yes, you do.
That's good. Okay, Reverend, it's your turn, Reverend. Just real
Oh my
quick.
gosh. I thought I was going to get a pass.
No.
No, you
No.
ain't gonna get no pass, Reverend. Reverend,
Yes.
you don't have any. Do you have any anger built up toward anybody?
I don't. Now, but I'll say this, that I don't know if the word's high strung. I mean, I get excited. I've learned to keep
That's
it.
because you're from North Irving. That's why you get excited.
Yeah, you North Irving fellas need to learn how to ratchet back.
No, he's North Irving. It's the South
Yeah.
Irving boys
Yeah,
you
the
need to
South
worry
Irving
about,
guys.
Marcus.
Yeah, you know what we call. I mean, you call that. You say I'm passionate. Yeah, I mean that's maybe a euphemism, right? I don't know, but yeah, I probably have a bit of I don't know, a little anger in me from time to time. I do.
What about?
Uh, and so that's something I have to deal with. It is.
What's it about?
Um,
Can't change or heal what you do not acknowledge. Look at the
yeah,
sign. Look at the
yeah,
sign. Okay, good.
yeah. I think it's, I don't know. I don't know exactly. I do know this, that, that I'm forgiven.
Yes.
And that I have to work on it daily. I'm uh, I do get excited, and I try to channel that in a positive way. But there's that fine line there, between that negative anger, because I frankly think that anger is a neutral. Are you sinning in your anger? So how do you use it? You think about when Jesus turned the table over.
Yeah.
It,
Righteous anger.
Your righteous anger, you can use that in a constructive way. So, but that's something I have to deal with. I have to make sure, hey, I'm keeping it on that side. I'm keeping it on the righteous side and not the negative, the bad kind of anger.
Okay. We got that. And you forgive people. Someone makes you mad, you forgive them.
Oh yeah, I easily.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, are you guilty about anything?
Nothing in particular. I mean, mess up every day.
No, you got it pretty good. I'm trying to look. I'm brother-in-law. I was hard on Carcass, but I'm a brother-in-law Reverend.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah, man, that's the way it works.
Get him under that thumb. Get him under that heavy thumb, Brett.
Hey.
Yeah.
So, what
Well,
about fear? Do you
yeah.
have any fear?
I mean, not much, if any.
Oh,
I
you're
mean,
not
I
afraid.
do from time to time, some occasional, even when, if I'm gonna be in a situation that's unusual for me, that I haven't, done a number of times, I'm going to be a little
Me too.
anxious. But
Me too.
I've found, through the years that you work through that, and it's never. Well, we talked about this, I think, last week. False evidence appearing real. That's typically what fear is. I mean, it's usually not real. So, if you realize that, and you can work through it. So yeah, I have some occasional, anxiety, anxiousness that creeps in, but
nothing
doesn't
that keeps
stay.
you in the house from nothing that keeps you from going outside.
No.
Okay, good.
So
Okay.
what's the, if I can just interject, what's
Yes.
the difference between being afraid and being very concerned? Because to me, I get concerned. I don't get
Yeah.
scared.
When you have a lot of
No.
fear, I'm just saying this because I trained 20,000 people coming through my training room. When
Yeah.
when somebody's got a lot of fear, you
Yeah.
look at them.
Yeah. Sure.
And
Yeah.
when they have a lot of fear, they're afraid to go outside,
No.
afraid to leave the room.
Sure.
I was telling Denny, a lot of my friends I went to school with are scared to death. They don't even leave their house. They won't even drive to go to Florida, or they won't, do stuff because they're scared.
Yeah.
They're going to get COVID or something,
Yeah. Yeah.
But
we have to get over that, man.
yeah, that's the kind of fear I'm talking about.
Okay.
Because when you have a lot of fear, it's a lack of faith. It is.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I agree 100%.
Good. I got Reverend's blessing for the first time in a long time.
No.
Preach, Brett. Preach.
Yeah. I mean, in faith, faith can ebb and flow just a little. I mean, not overall. I mean,
Yeah, that's right.
yeah.
So if you don't have any guilt, you don't have any anger, you don't have any fear, what would you want? What do you want from this day forward in your heart for the rest of your life?
Yeah. I mean, that's a great question. I mean, I'm tempted to copy Carcass because he gave a great answer. I would say, I'm going to use that phrase joyful. I mean, I love being happy. I just, I don't think, I'm going to get there all the time, but joy is something that we can have all the time. Right. And I think we use those words interchangeably, frankly.
I got another word, dude. I've only done this exercise with like 20,000 people, seriously. But I got to give you a word that you deserve.
All right. I'll take it.
Wise.
Wise. Yeah. Well, man, I love wisdom. Absolutely.
You do. Doesn't have a lot of wisdom, Carcass.
Yes, I agree.
So
Well,
if you were to
yeah.
say, tattoo your heart, I am a blank, blank man, what would it be?
Gosh, you just helped me. You've given me the answers. I'm a wise,
I'm
joyful
a,
man.
yeah, that's it.
I'll take that. Yeah.
That's it. Look
No.
at you smile though when you say it
Yeah.
because you
But
love it. That's you.
yeah. Well,
And listen, I'm telling you, I did this in 1991 with Phil. Phil did this exercise with
yeah.
me. And I'm just saying, whenever I get goofy, I go right back to it. Hey, I'm a kind, loving man. Ain't nobody going to rob me of that. You know, no one's going to rob that.
Yeah.
I'm a wise, joyful man. No one's going to rob you that. And Reverend, you are wise. I call you all the time if I go, hey, Reverend, I'm fixing to go beat the hell out of somebody. You need to talk me off the cliff. And old Reverend he'll talk me right off the cliff.
Well, let me say, can I say this again? I don't want to get too preachy, but I got to keep my namesake here, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the first thing we got to do, we have to get it right vertically with our God. I mean, we got to surrender our lives to Jesus. I mean, that's the starting point. I think we're way past that, right? All three of us, but I'd be remiss if I didn't say that. And wisdom, I think it's real clear too. Wisdom comes straight from God. I mean, and it's a gift that God will give us if we ask for it.
Well, you got to share it. That's all your contract. This is your contract for the rest of your life. Your contract, Denny, you just got to share it. You got it.
Well,
you have to share it.
That's a great word. That's a great word, man. Absolutely.
Okay, look. Can you say this?
All right. I'm gonna try.
I am a wise, joyful, sharing man.
I'm a wise, joyful, sharing man.
I
like that.
You like that, Carcass?
Amen. Amen.
Hey, I'm gonna sow and serve too.
Yeah.
Share, sow, serve, right?
Yeah. Wise, joyful, sharing man. I'm a wise, joyful.
I can get it way
man.
out there. You maybe like 10 or 11, 12, but
no, you gotta tattoo. Hey, let me tell you, on this show, I'm gonna come back and ask you. I guarantee you, Tracy Croissant's listening to this, and some other dudes are going, I can't believe this silly dude's doing this on podcast, because they've all done it, and they're going, okay. All right, man. They'll be calling in going, hey, what's your contract? I'm a kind, loving man. Okay, good. You living it? Yeah, I'm living it. I am. I try to live it every day. I got to, dude. I keep a lot of the way what happened in my house in a nice little box. And that little box is just right over here.
Yeah.
And it needs to stay right over here. So that's pretty cool.
Good.
I didn't know we were going to do that. I think that's cool.
I'm feeling pretty good about it right now, actually.
Me too.
And some of us here on this podcast here have been alive for a pretty good while. And my best lessons, I hate to say it, but my best lessons have been, through some hardships.
Yeah, me too.
And even now, I didn't lose too many trials, Brett Carcass, but I learned some big lessons for the ones that I would say I probably got beat on that case. They're not always black and white, but but you got to learn from it, right, and get better. And then, as you say, Brett, share it, bro.
Yeah, share it.
Okay.
I tried a Christmas jury one when I was a prosecutor one time. The guy was stealing a bunch of steaks out of Dunstan's. And I lost that trial. That's one of the only trials I lost because I had a Christmas jury. And, I really didn't argue with him. He was caught red-handed with the steaks, but he was just trying to take him home to his family. But I learned a hard lesson. So I'm trying to case this year win. Christmas. See?
You've been there, done
I've been there, done it. I did a Christmas jury. Okay. What else y'all want to add about being a better man? I can't wait to read my poem tonight.
Well, I like I said, I wrote some things down because I wanted to make sure that if we had the opportunity that I hit on them. But you've actually kind of already mentioned it, but so I wrote down 4, and my number 3 was be patient. Not everyone has the same schedule. Not everyone's on the same schedule as we are. And we have to learn to be patient with ourselves too.
I'm terrible. I'm terrible at that.
Yeah.
Reverend.
Yeah.
I am not a patient person.
Sometimes
I'm a bird dog at the end of the. I got quails down, man.
But Brett, you do listen. You listen. You're a great listener.
And to Denny's point, sometimes, as if we commit ourselves to a higher power, his schedule is a lot different than ours. And we have to learn to confide in him and just be patient. Because good things do happen to people who wait.
Who was that guest that we had, Carcass, Reverend, that said a tune-up? Tune-up said this.
Oh, yeah.
Tune-up said, what you're praying for, you're getting right now. God is giving you what you're answering your prayer right now. And you might not be liking what you're getting, but he's getting you ready. You know,
life is happening to give you what you've asked for.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
That was Christine Harvey, Miss Tune-Up.
AKA Tune-Up.
Yep.
Hey, let me give you another good one that I'm going to steal from a wonderful young lady who was telling me about her dad. We're going to have his celebration service here in a couple of days, and she said, here's something that I'll always remember about my dad. He was present. He was present,
physically and mentally and emotionally.
Yeah.
Kind of like listening to people, right, Brett?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you got to be present, man.
For your spouse, for your children, for your friends.
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
And I don't think it's necessarily proximity either. My daughter said one time, she said, I always know you're there, whether I'm where she's living or whether she's up here or she's driving to another city somewhere. She says, I feel like I can always just reach out and you're there. And I think that's after years and years of developing a good relationship.
I like that.
Yeah, I do too. And I don't think it's geographic, Carcass, right? I mean,
right.
I always call my kids and ask them what they're doing. I make them laugh. Did I tell you what my daughter did yesterday? Y'all gonna get a kick out of this.
No.
My daughter, Dylan, the Aggie. So I was sitting there, I was going, man, somebody is attacking my debit card. And these kids, they know how to put it in their wallet and they know how to save it and do it, blah, blah, blah. I called Sankit. I was like, look, I'm working for the kids now, but I mean, someone's attacking my debit card, and I think it's Dylan. I opened up my bank account, and my daughter DoorDashed a donut. Did you ever hear such a thing?
No.
She DoorDashed a Dunkin' donut.
They cost her what, $12?
I was afraid to look. I called my daughter up. I said, did you DoorDash a donut? I mean, it's like, hey, how you doing? And she had me on speaker, and I hear all these girls in her sorority laughing at me. I didn't care if they listened to me or not. I was like, honey, I never DoorDashed anything in my life. I usually go out and I'll get a hamburger if I'm going to get a hamburger, but you DoorDashed a Dunkin' donut. Times have really changed.
Yeah. Well, I hope it was at least a dozen.
I didn't even look. I was so mad. I wasn't really mad. I was laughing, but I was like, I got her attention. She got the message without me I don't get angry at my girls. They're too fun.
Yeah.
They make me laugh. So tomorrow, Alex does her radio show on the campus. She is the campus DJ.
Great.
So she calls me every week and reminds me to listen to her show. It's hilarious. I just laugh.
It's great, man.
What else about being a better man? Oh, you know what? To be a better man, you got to be involved in your church.
Yeah, absolutely.
That ain't no halfway about it. Ain't and watching what's his name? What's the guy's name out of Houston? That ain't
Joel Osteen.
that's no replacement for church. He's
No,
he's a motivator. He's a motivator. He's not
no,
he's not a preacher. He's a motivator. But that's good. He teaches good things. But what I'm saying is, you got to get involved in a church.
absolutely. And you kind of hit it, Brett. I mean, don't just be an attendee.
Yeah,
Be involved. Get plugged in.
we
And
have this
revolve your
lady.
life around it.
We have this lady in our church. Her name is Sue. And she's just Greek as the day is long. But when the church needs something, she picks the phone up. She calls me and a few other guys and says, "Hey, we need." My church has a hard time making their bills. we need an elevator so my choir doesn't have to. The people that are handicapped don't have to climb down them stairs. And she tells us what we're going to do. It's hilarious. I love it. I'm like, man, I'm in, you know?
Yeah. Every church needs one of those ladies. That's for sure.
Yeah, it does. All right, guys. Can I read the poem for today?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Y'all have
Please
all
do.
heard it. Some say Teddy Roosevelt wrote it. Some say Muhammad Gandhi wrote it. I like to say Muhammad Gandhi wrote it. That way I am a follower of Muhammad Gandhi because I thought he was a pretty cool dude too. It's called The Measure of a Man. Have y'all read it?
No.
Oh, well, you're going to love this. It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and comes up short again and again. Because there is no effort without error or shortcoming. But who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself for a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who knew neither victory nor defeat.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Isn't that awesome?
Wow.
Yeah. I've heard it. I didn't know it by title. Can't hear that enough though.
It's not the critic who counts. It's he who is in the arena marred by dust and sweat and blood. I love that.
Yeah.
I'll take
Good.
the guy in the arena every time.
Absolutely.
You know what I find too, guys, and I say this proudly. You
Tell me.
give me somebody in recovery, somebody that lives 12 steps, that's been to hell and back, and I'll take them every time, man. Those guys, they're good people. Good people.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, guys. I love you guys. We're
Hey,
going to be
love you,
better.
Brett.
Hey,
Love you,
look,
Cargus.
we got a problem.
No.
Yeah.
We got a lot of women who want to be on our show, our guest. But we have to find that Proverbs. What is it, Denny? Reverend Proverbs.
Oh gosh. I can't pull it up immediately.
Is it Proverbs? Proverbs.
It's Proverbs something.
Woman. We got to find that woman before next week. Got it?
Got it.
I promise you we're going to bring it. But in the meantime, will you please go on our website and subscribe? We're going to do really cool stuff with newsletters and really neat website stuff. But you're going to really get a joy out of going to it. So we love you guys. Please like us on Facebook. Do whatever you can to spread the word. And y'all have a great week, and we'll see you Tuesday night.
We'll
Thank
see you
y'all.
next Tuesday.
Good night.
Yep.